you realize that broke boys are the ones who hit the juicy pot real good compared to men who are somewhat rich? Think about it. Broke boys are the ones who stigmatize the most. Because, I mean, if the pocket is empty, at least the package has got to be on its A game. Shh, don't say I told you that. Most men who are great conversationalists are the kind of men who moan in the bed the best. You don't know how to kiss? How can you then know how to do the foreplay? You don't know how to kiss? How then would you be able to lick plates? Hey, you don't know how to kiss? How then would you be able to handle the body? Play the body like a guitar? Play the body like a violinist? How do they call that thing? How would you be able to play the body? You don't know how to kiss? That's the fundamental. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jane Lawrence and I come with a lot of juicy content. I am so grateful to be alive in the year 2025. One thing that I would like to say as a prayer before I start the channel, because this is the first episode in the year 2025. I would say that 2025 will not see the end of us, but we will see the end of 2025. Amen to that. Amen to that. And so with that, we begin this year with one juicy content. By the way, if this is your first time on this channel, I welcome you. What I do is talk about love, sex, and relationship. But because of how stringent YouTube has become with its community guideline, I would like to tone down on the sex talk and probably carry it to my Patreon account. So I will put the link here to my Patreon account where we will talk about sex without holding back, okay? We'll demonstrate as much as we can, but still demonstrate with a little bit of respect, okay? Because we're not doing X-rated movie. We're just trying to teach you how to be a better lover in the bedroom, okay? So if you want to be part of that community over there, then make sure that you subscribe to my Patreon account. It is affordable, I think so. Anyways, quickly, let's get right into it. 10 signs that he will be good in bed. That's what I am going to talk about today. So, hey loves, welcome to another eye-opening episode of Juiciness with me. Now, quick one here. Have you ever wondered to yourself, or do you even want to know whether that man that you like so much could be or will be good in bed before you agree to that second date? You know, there are some guys that you just see and they're too good to be true, and you don't want to waste your time all the same, but you want to figure out if this guy will be good in bed. I'm here for you, okay? I've been in that situation before. Like, would this guy be able to make it real good? Would this guy be able to kiss real good? Is he a romantic? Does he love foreplay? Because I love foreplay. I'm more of a foreplay girl than anything else. So would he be patient enough in the bedroom with me? What are the signs? How do I tell without stripping this guy nude in front of me or without rushing into having with him? Do you get what I mean? So if you're like me, then this is where you ought to be. This is where you ought to be, because I'm going to give you 10 sure signs, 10 telltale signs that this man could be good in the bedroom. First things first, I need you to know that there are ways that you can figure out first if the guy is well endowed between his legs. You know, here in Africa, I have heard that when you check a man's toes or his feet, how big it is can reveal the possible size of the junk in his trunk, or the possible size of the junk that he's packing in between his legs, okay? Oh, and then his fingers too. If he has big hands or the width of his fingers are wide or long, then you know that You just have had a mental glimpse of what he might be packing below. Trust me, these signs are true. Well, I will leave this topic for some other day because today I want to give you signs that your man will be good in bed. Number one, without waste of time, that man eats a lot. He has a big appetite. So if you want to know a man who makes love with gusto, then try to suggest a dinner date and watch how he eats. After all, how he talks into his food should give you a good indication of how he might nibble on your ears, your neck, your toes, and everywhere else in between. I could tell you from experience how one day I went out on a walk date with someone and we were swallowing Eba, if you know what Eba is. And I unconsciously took a glance at how this guy licks his soup off his finger and unconsciously got a tingling sensation in my tummy because of how slowly and carefully he licked the soup off his finger. Trust me, down the lane, one or two things happened between us. And I couldn't have been wrong about how a man eats is indicative of how he handles you in bed. Are you with me? Are you with me? So, for starters, does he have a hearty appetite? Because great lovers enjoy all the pleasures life has got to offer, especially the sensual ones like eating. Listen when I tell you that a good appetite usually means a man has a lusty libido to match it up with. So does he savor each mouthful of food or does he just stuff his face with the food? You need to figure out that. But then again, just watch out for the man who demolishes his food in 10 seconds flat. Like 10 seconds flat. He might just be that kind that doesn't take his time in the bedroom. Because there is a difference between a healthy appetite and, a man who is in a rush to satisfy his needs. So if he is in a rush to satisfy his tummy, he may carry that into that bedroom, especially when he needs to ejaculate. Men come quicker than women, but it takes a great lover to put his urge aside for a bit and then push you closer to the edge of ecstasy in such a way that when it's time for him to release, you're already there. And hopefully you can simultaneously climax together. You get the drift. Right. Number two sign that he will be good in bed is his body language. And body language doesn't lie. Honestly, it's been estimated that 93% of, human communication is through body language and tone. And only 7% is conveyed by the actual words that we use. So when it comes to talking sex, the body does not lie. So if you're on your first date and you notice that he avoids eye contact or he sits back far away from you, or his arms are just folded, it is not worth having a second date, no matter what he says. Because these are all signs of disinterest, or at the very least, you're dealing with a cold fish, all right? More so, if he keeps a close eye on the door, or maybe his feet is pointed towards the exit, get your coat and just leave. He's either waiting for a better offer to walk in, or probably he just wants out of that conversation, or he's not digging you. So don't waste your time with that. Trust me, you would always sense it from their body language when a guy likes you and has a strong desire for you. His legs will be turned towards you. He's always going to be touchy around you. He's going to maintain eye contact with you. And if you feel the same way, then it's about to get down and dirty. But this doesn't necessarily mean that he would be good in bed, all right? Because that's just body language. But how he touches you slightly or grazes his hands around your cheek and, stares into your eyes, licks his lips unconsciously as he looks into your lips. Now, he's got all of these desires, but he still restrains himself from grabbing you or tearing you up in order to devour you and satisfy his urge. Why? Because he respects the fact that it's still new and he needs to take his time to know you better and you him. knowing full well that that's the only way that he could get your guards down and have that intimacy that he envisaged with you in his head. Number 3, he dresses well, but not too well. Now, we all want a man who looks good, smells good, but if he has more lotion and potion and he takes longer to get ready than you, who is a woman, it doesn't really sit well. It shouldn't sit well. It doesn't sit well with me because, listen, if he's a complete peacock who is apparently obsessed with his looks and skincare regimen, then he may not like messy fun in bed. And I love messy fun. I love it messy. I love it nasty. And probably he might be more concerned with the way he looks in the mirror than actually putting in the work in bed. Especially if the mirror is right in front of you, just like mine is right in front of me. And while he's hitting you, he's looking at his performance in the mirror. How vain can any man be? Tell me. Listen, men like this might just be overly critical of you. They might be critical of what you do in bed. They might just be those types of men who point out your flaws and make you feel less comfortable in your skin because they are too into themselves or they are too vain. Why would you want to be with that kind of man? Why would you want to be vulnerable in the face of that kind of man? And then you might ask, so Jade, what about the man who can't be bothered about how he looks or be bothered to change his socks, let alone make sure that the socks matches his shoes? Now, if he lets himself go and doesn't care at all about his looks, he will probably be lazy in bed. He might just be that type of man you wouldn't trust to go down on because he might just have that dry poop stashed up in his drawer or one corner around his second home because he's too lazy to wash up. The thing is, have a man who is hygienically clean, but he's not so vain about his looks because he knows he is a man who already looks good and doesn't need to do too much and do extra. I, as a woman, I love a clean, masculine man with a little bit of, rough edges to him. You get me? He's clean, but you can smell of his manly essence. These kind of men, steamy sex with them is usually cave-like and possessively sweet. Trust me on that one. Number 4, another sign that he will be good in bed is when he is a great dancer, because dancing can be intimate, it can be passionate and fun, especially the sensual type. So when he moves his waist and how flexible he is when he moves can tell you how flexible and how he will make good use of his waist when he is putting it down in the bedroom. So watch his moves on the dance floor and you will get to have a good idea of his skills between the sheets. So here are exactly 3 things that you should be looking out for. Number 1, his rhythm, variety, and the ability to lose himself in the music. Listen, if he can't dance without moving the lower half of his body, it is just a safe bet to assume that he is not driven by lust. Now, I also need you to avoid this type of men that are somewhat an exhibitionist, who are likely to be as vain and self-absorbed on the dance floor as they are in the bedroom. Because a man who makes jerky, hectic movements might as well have a neon sign around his neck saying, "I am a premature ejaculator." Because those men who like to prove themselves like that and like to show, their sexual moves, especially on the dance floor, are those type of men who, when they see you nude, they just spill. It's for a fact. So ladies, don't say I didn't warn you, because I just did. Number 5, if he's good with money, then there is a high chance that he might be good in bed. I know it's weird because we have men who are practically good with money. They're wealthy and all of that stuff, but they are 1 minute kind of men. All right. So they've channeled their energy towards making money because they know that Even if they're not good in bed, women can still actually stay with them because of the financial security that they offer them. So they tend to channel their energy towards work. But while I know that money can't buy you love or make you a great lover in bed, there is a lot that you could tell about a man from his relationship with money. The point here is that if he flashes the cash and tries to show off through money, he will probably put on a performance in bed, but not actually ask you what you want. That's what I'm trying to say. And now, such men usually have a tried and tested sex routine that they've used on other women, and so they think that it will work on you. So they don't bother finding out what a new partner likes. So you will have to tell him loud and clear what works for you, darling. Because in their minds, they will think, oh, what works for A should work for B. On the other hand, if he's tight with money, there's a good chance that he will hold back in bed. See, an inhibition to spend money will probably be reflected in your sexual inhibitions too. Yeah, it's a stupid analogy, but I guess it applies to certain men. Haven't you realized that broke boys are the ones who hit the juicy pot real good compared to men who are somewhat rich? Think about it. Broke boys are the ones who stigmatize the most, because if the pocket is empty, at least the package has got to be on its A game. Shh, don't say I told you that. A rich man has nothing to lose because he knows that if he can't put it in bed, his money can do the work or the talking. But if she cheats, he will dump her and get a much younger girl who is eager to take her place. So those are different scenarios I just put out. But a man who is good with his time and money, he already understands how money works. He will apply same logic as to how women work in bed too, in order to deliver a successful, blissful results. Do you understand me? Number 6, he's a great talker. Have you noticed what he does with his hands when he talks? Now, according to experts, how a man gestures reveals what kind of lover that he will make. And if he can't help expressing himself with his hands over dinner, just imagine what the hell he would be doing with his hands in bed. I believe that hand gestures can reveal a great deal about a man's sexual personality. A man who uses his hand in an expressive and tactile way is more likely to make a sensuous lover, I guess. So if he has a cat, watch how he strokes that cat, even how he runs his fingers through his hairs or your hair. Now, stay clear of men who fiddle with their hands, because men who fidget are likely to be unsure of themselves in bed, or they're more likely to be disinterested in you in bed. And men who are not practically expressive outside of the bedroom are practically less expressive in the bedroom. Most men who are great conversationalists are the kind of men who moan in the bed the best. They're quite expressive in bed. Some of them can go as far as asking you what you need in bed, how you want to be pleasured. So yeah, but stay away from the overtalkers, right? Who don't listen. This type will never ever pay attention to you or to your needs. And they may just turn out to be selfish in bed because all they care about is hearing themselves. Now, the 7th way to know that he will be good, a performer in bed, is that he will be a fantastic kisser. This is my go-to. In fact, this is supposed to be my number 1. If he already gets me with his kisses, I don't care if I know whether he's fantastic in bed, but this just sums it all up for me if I want to figure out if he's good in bed. Do you understand me? You don't know how to kiss? How can you then know how to do the foreplay? You don't know how to kiss? How then would you be able to lick plates? You don't know how to kiss? How then would you be able to handle the body, play the body like a guitar? Play the body like a violinist. How do they call that thing? How would you be able to play the body like an instrumentalist? Tell me, like a pianist. You don't know how to kiss? Ah, that's the fundamental. So you can tell a lot about a man from the way he kisses, and not just whether he has a good technique or not. See, if you get to the first base and the kissing is intense, passionate, exciting, then there is every chance for you to know or figure out that sex will be great with this guy. If not, what is the point of going to third base? No point at all. If you fumble while you're kissing, your fumbles, except let's just assume that the first time you're fumbling because it's the first time, all right? But second time you're still fumbling, hey, forget it all. You have lost it. Now, if he refrains from shoving his tongue down your throat, just realize that he won't rush you into sex. And that means you can expect foreplay, lots of foreplay. All right. And if he gets a little carried away during the makeout session, even better. I mean, who wants a lukewarm kind of lover? Not me. Not me, darling. Not me. Now, see, the most promising lovers are those who use a variety of techniques in their kisses or in their kiss. If he nips, if he chews lightly or bites lightly and licks and really explores all area of your mouth, then there is every chance that he's going to be good in bed and his head game might just be a killer. So if he kisses you and he caresses your face or your neck or rubs your back or presses you into himself slowly so that you can feel his warmth and the hardness of his groin, then he is an old soul who knows the workings of a woman, because there is something about the strength of a man's arms around your waist, securing you in for a kiss. So if he is not paying attention, then forget it. He's not the one that you're looking for. Number 8, he likes to sample new things. It's not just how he eats, but what he eats. If your dinner date refuses to try anything new, or he's not adventurous, or he won't eat anything that doesn't come with, red meat, it could be a cause for concern. Because let's face it, darling, if he's not into experimenting or trying exotic fares or food, he's hardly going to dish up the Kama Sutra behind closed door. That's a fact. Now, I need you to know that the real test for food, though, is if he shares. The guy who offers you a mouthful of his main course and chooses the yummiest, tastiest part of his meal for you to try is definitely a keeper. And if he hand feeds you chocolate desserts from his spoon, just marry him. He will be considerate of you in bed. He will be selfless in bed. He will consider your needs first before his. And if you have that sort of man who considers you in bed before his needs, like he wants you to reach your climax before he reaches his, that's a good man. Don't play with that man, because those set of men, it's like they're going into extinction. The men that we have are men who are selfish. Until they come, they don't care about you. Number 9, he drives stylish cars. See, I think that a man's choice of car says a lot about his sexual prowess. Now, you might think that a flash motor guarantees a high performance ride in bed, but you'll be wrong. A man who drives an expensive sport car may be more interested in looking good than he's about you. The truth is that what they often say about flashy cars and, joystick extension is true. If he's all show, then you have to wonder if he has substance too. Of course, it's not just what he drives, but how he drives. No one wants to stay in the slow lane for too long. But if he speeds and he's reckless, there is a good chance that he won't make a good considerate lover in bed. But a man who takes his time over his maneuvers and performs them with skills and precision, is likely to give you a smooth ride in the bedroom too. And then lastly, number 10, he works out. Listen, men who keep fit tend to become good lovers because they're likely to feel more confident in their appearance. Plus, they have the stamina to keep it going all night. Not to mention having good multitasking skills and great hand to eye coordination. This is what you can tell about a man from all the types of fitness that he does or the kind of sport that he engages in. If your potential lover is a cyclist or he's a runner or he's a swimmer, you're in luck because that requires good endurance, which means he would likely know how to pace himself in the bedroom and how to go the distance and how to endure. There is something called obsessive fitness freaks or men who spend hours pumping iron in a gym. Those men are the kind of men that you should avoid really fast because if he's more interested in building big muscles than his fitness, it could be a sign that he's lacking in confidence or he's trying to cover up an insecurity that he has, like maybe he's not packing, or maybe he's trying to cover the fact that what he's packing is not good enough for you or is not big enough for you. All right? Because aside money, a man's size is a determinant of his confidence, right? It's true. A man's confidence is tied to not just his money, but also his size. If his size is not good enough and he thinks that it's not good enough, he will not be confident in bed and he will not give you all that you want. Now, we're going to stop here. And I do hope that you can stealthily look out for these signs when you think that you've met that one that makes your heart skip a beat. The funny thing about all of these signs, he wouldn't know that you are looking out for the signs. But these are signs. Anyways, when I come back soon enough, we will be talking about how to tell that man is packing the right weapon that he's supposed to pack. Now, take care and don't forget to share, like, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Until I come back to know that I love you, but God loves you best.